I believe there is a feature in the car where you can coast.
Yeah, cruise control.
Cruise control. Oh, okay, that's what it was.
Cruise control.
That's it.
But it's like the feeling like you're going down a hill, so you don't have to push the accelerator.
Yes.
You can just kind of like let the momentum drag you down.
That's right.
We say that as a joke. We know that a lot of people still work very hard on Fridays.
Of course.
So I hope you can make it and survive until the weekend where you can rest.
Yes, you're almost there.
Yeah.
So it is Business Dialogue Day, and this month we are talking about working as a voice actor.
Yes.
What was the first month like?
첫 달은 어땠어요?
Yeah, 어땠어요? 힘들었어요.
힘들죠.
No, actually. No, it was, but it's interesting because people think that, if you have a good voice, anyone can become a voice actor. But that's not always true.
Yeah, it is one of those things where it seems really simple, and if you know what to do, it's not hard, but figuring out, kind of getting that sense or feeling for how to act with your voice.
Right. Or even reading.
Right.
It's surprising that even native speakers don't know how to read really well. They know how to talk, but when you give them a passage, it's not easy.
Yeah, talking and reading are very different.
Very different. Okay. All right. So here are some expressions that we're going to learn. A learning curve, C-U-R-V-E, learning curve.
So a learning curve is the rate that something can be learned.
The speed.
How long it takes to be mastered.
Okay.
The speed. The effort needed.
How about on the job, which is one word with hyphens in between, on the job training.
This means you are learning while you are doing the job.
Okay.
There's not a training session before. You're training as you're doing the job.
Very good. And show someone the ropes.
This means you are explaining things to them. You're giving them a general guide to how things work.
Very good. Let's go ahead and listen to our power dialogue.
So, what was the first month as a voice actor like?
Well, the learning curve wasn't too steep.
Did you have actual lessons, or was it on-the-job training?
I definitely learned on the job. I got paired with Amy on some educational jobs, and she showed me the ropes.
What kinds of things did you need to learn that most people wouldn't know?
The most important skill I had to learn was to be able to read a script cold, meaning one I've never seen before.
Please join us on page 68. You can find the power dialogue there. Working as a voice actor, what was the first month like? Okay, so what was something like?
How was it?
How was it? Yes. Olivia says, so what was the first month as a voice actor like? And what does John say?
Well, the learning curve wasn't too steep.
Okay, the learning curve wasn't too steep. S-T-E-E-P.
Yes.
Okay. So, we often use the word steep with learning curve. What are these two? What are the meanings of these two?
Yeah, so the learning curve is the rate or speed that you can learn something.
Yeah.
So in Korean, we have here the 학습 곡선.
Okay.
So if you think of like a graph.
Right. Statistics.
Right. 1 day, how much can you learn? 2 days, how much can you learn?
Right.
And it usually has this little curve to it.
Right.
And each skill has a different curve to it.
Sure.
Some things are easy. To learn, and some things are difficult to learn in the beginning.
Okay.
So when it's difficult to learn in the beginning, we say that there is a steep learning curve.
Yeah.
It's like you're starting on a mountain and it's already like 180 degrees.
Yeah. Right. But in this case, it wasn't too steep. So what John is essentially saying is that it wasn't too bad.
No,
that
too.
He could learn pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. Olivia says, did you have actual lessons or was it on-the-job training? Right. So did you take classes? Did you have instructions? Or was it on-the-job training?
So on-the-job training is training while you are doing the actual thing. So this would be a good example of this is a doctor.
Yeah.
First they study in the classroom, right?
Right.
And then they become what's called like a resident.
Right.
Right? They're actually working in the hospital, helping the doctors, doing some of the surgeries, doing the simpler things. That part of it would be on the job training. So depending on what type of field you're going into, you might get a lot of on-the-job training. If you're a plumber or a carpenter, you don't spend a lot of time learning about that in the classroom. You just kind of learn it by doing it, right?
Right.
But if you're an airplane engineer, you're going to have to spend a lot of time studying how to build an airplane.
Or a pilot.
In a classroom. Right, exactly.
Right. You don't want on-the-job training with passengers.
Yeah, maybe in the later stages you would do it.
Yeah.
But the first part is going to be a lot of book learning.
That's right. That's right. And surprisingly, teachers, too, before you become like a teacher,
yes,
you do have to have on-the-job training.
Yeah, you're a student teacher, and you're teaching the class every couple of days.
That's right. Okay. All right. So then John says, I definitely learned on the job. I got paired with Amy on some educational jobs, and she showed me the ropes. So if someone shows you the ropes,
they are showing you how to do something the basic way. They're kind of your guide. Yeah. Okay, this is how we do this thing.
Right.
And this is the basic way that we do this thing.
Right.
Yes, this showing someone the ropes, it originally is like a
sailing term.
A sailing term.
Yeah, that's right.
Where you showed someone which ropes to pull,
right,
to change the direction of the sail. Basically showing them the basic way to use the boat.
Right.
Right?
How to sail.
Yeah, how to sail. So in the same way, showing someone the ropes is the basic way to do a job.
Right. I think, someone showing you the ropes is one of the best ways to get good training. Because you see it instead of like learning from the book.
Right, yes.
But that depends on the profession.
Yeah, I think most things, when you finally can see the physical thing, the actual thing you're going to be doing, that's when you really start to understand it.
That's right. So then what does Olivia say?
What kinds of things did you need to learn that most people wouldn't know?
Okay, what kinds of things is our power pattern?
Yes.
What are you asking?
So you're asking for more details to something that was already stated. John said, Amy showed me the ropes. Olivia's saying, what are the ropes?
Yeah, what? What did she show you?
Tell me the details. What are the actual things that she showed you?
Yeah, so Olivia is just saying, what did you learn?
Yes.
Okay. And John says, the most important skill I had to learn was to be able to read a script cold, meaning one I've never seen before. Oh, this is a great power vocab. Cold, we know as, that's easy, 차갑다, right? But in this context, to read a script cold, what does that mean?
This means you are reading a script with no preparation. So think of the word warming up.
Yeah.
That is the preparation you do before you exercise, for example.
Right.
So you don't want to exercise cold. You don't want to exercise without warming up.
Right.
Another place where you'll see this is in the business world. Some people that are in sales do cold calls.
Yep.
And that means you are making a phone call without knowing the person.
Yeah.
You're just looking them up. Oh, they're in my field. Maybe they'd be interested in my product.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, I'm John Smith of ABC Company. I would like to talk to you about, that is a cold call.
Yeah.
No preparation before, or in this case, not knowing that person before you call them.
Right, great term. I tell you, English is never ending. You think you know one word, and then it has another complete
that's
meaning.
Language. Every language, they're taking old words and giving new meanings to it.
All right, let's go ahead and listen to that dialogue one more time.
So, what was the first month as a voice actor like?
Well, the learning curve wasn't too steep.
Did you have actual lessons, or was it on-the-job training?
I definitely learned on the job. I got paired with Amy on some educational jobs, and she showed me the ropes.
What kinds of things did you need to learn that most people wouldn't know?
The most important skill I had to learn was to be able to read a script cold, meaning one I've never seen before.
It's time for Power Note. We're on pages 70 and 71. So a learning curve is the speed or the rate at which you can learn.
Yes.
Okay? I can't believe you're still training for your job.
Believe it or not, the learning curve is pretty steep for underwater welding.
So basically what you're saying is that underwater welding, it's going to take a lot of time to learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
So underwater welding is 수중 용접, which is where you're putting pieces of metal together underwater, right? And they do use this for things like getting oil that is under the ocean.
Yeah.
They have to have the oil rig and drill.
Right.
And it is a very, very highly skilled technique.
Sure.
It takes a lot of time to learn, and you're probably not going to be successful on day one.
No. And it's quite risky, too. It can be, because you're underwater.
Oh, yeah. And you're basically scuba diving, and then you're making fire underwater.
Oh, my gosh. That is insane.
Yeah.
There isn't much of a learning curve when it comes to waiting tables. Yeah. I mean, a lot of us have worked at restaurants as servers. You don't need that much training. You don't need like a graduate degree, right? It's saying that there isn't much of a learning curve means it doesn't take a long time to learn.
You can learn pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I think there is a nuance we might want to talk about.
What's that?
This learning curve here is talking about how long it takes to be okay at it. Many skills to master something, it's just going to take a long time and a lot of effort no matter what.
Sure.
But when we're talking about the learning curve, we're usually talking about how long does it take you to become
decent,
fine, okay.
Yeah.
So with this, if you're waiting tables, it doesn't take long, maybe a couple of days. You got to learn the computer system. Learn what the menu, how to talk to customers. But if you do want to become a great waiter, that can still take a lot of time.
True.
So it's more about just like how much until you're average or passable or just good enough to get the job done.
That's right. Oh, that's a very good point. Right.
Whereas, so with waiting, you can, if you're a waiter, a server, you can be kind of like, okay. And it's not a big deal. But if you're in underwater welding, you can't be just okay. You've got to be really good or you're going to hurt yourself or the thing you're welding is going to fall into the ocean. So that is what we're talking about here with the learning curve.
Okay, very good. The next expression is on-the-job training. And this means that basically you are learning the skills while you're working.
Yes.
Okay. What kinds of classes did you take to become a truck driver?
I had a few safety courses, but it was mostly on-the-job training.
Yeah, right? Okay. I mean, you do have some courses, but basically you're going to learn how to drive the truck by driving it.
Yes.
Okay. Most factory jobs give you on-the-job training.
Yeah, you don't spend 3 or 4 months going through safety manuals and instruction manuals before starting a factory job.
Right.
They may start you on something easy, and you slowly do more and more and more.
Yeah.
But, it's not like most factory jobs are not a lot of time studying with a book.
Yes. So I feel like people hire you because you have the potential to be a good driver, a good truck driver, or you have the potential to be good with numbers. I remember when I worked full time, I didn't know how to do like data entry, but I just learned on the job.
Right, yeah.
You know, the person in the department just showed me and I started, doing my work.
Yes.
Right.
So it is that feeling of you learn it as you're doing it when it's needed. Right?
Right.
So a lot of, I think most kind of what we would call trade jobs. So a plumber, a carpenter.
Right.
If you're someone who puts roofs on a house, for example.
Right.
Those usually have a lot of on-the-job training.
I agree.
And what they'll do is they'll usually start you with an easy task and have you do that, and slowly you learn to do more.
Right. And I have to say, even EBS, starting broadcasting, for me, it was pretty much on-the-job training. I didn't have formal training to become a broadcaster.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. I know a lot of people, even in Korea, if you want to be like an anchor man or an anchor woman.
Yeah, that's right.
You go to like the hagwons.
That's
and
right.
you study how to talk,
take the
right?
test. Right. So in that way, I feel I'm very fortunate. Okay. Show someone the ropes means to explain or to show them how to do something.
Yes.
Who is going to be teaching me how to do my job?
The boss wants me to show you the ropes.
Okay. So you're going to be kind of my mentor.
Yes.
All right. Come to work an hour early tomorrow so I can show you the ropes.
Yes.
Okay.
So most of these we've given are like job-related scenarios. You could technically show someone the ropes at your school.
Oh.
You know, like in movies?
Yes.
Where it's like, hey, I'll
They
tell you
pair
about
you.
our school.
Right.
And it's like, this is where the popular kids eat.
Uh-huh.
This is where the nerds eat. Don't talk to them. You will never be popular if you talk to them.
Right.
Like that sort of like giving the basic guide to the school.
That's good.
That would also be showing someone the ropes.
Okay, that's a great example because the new kid in class and the teacher says, okay, Sally, I want you to, show the new student, John, like show him around. And so Sally shows him the ropes.
Yeah, so it could be, talking about who's popular, who's not. It could be like, when we turn in our papers, this is how we turn it in. This is where you can put your book bags.
Yes.
All of the kind of basic information you need to function with that job or in that space.
Very good. Okay, our power pattern today is what kinds of things? So tell me more, right?
Yeah, give me details.
Yeah. What kinds of things should I bring on our trip?
Soap. What kinds of things did you talk about?
Okay, tell me more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want detailed, concrete information.
Right, okay. Cold is our power vocab, which is great because cold in this context is to do something for the first time.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a nice definition on page 72. Do check that out. And what else should we do?
Please go to Audio Hakdang, put in your information, as well as pay a small monthly fee.
Yeah.
And then you can listen to our voices anytime you want.
That's right.
Day or night.
I mean, and when we talk about small fee, it's like maybe for a cup of coffee every month, just once.
It's a really big
tiny
deal.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's a big deal, but a small fee.
All right, very good. Thank you so much for studying with us. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.